Yo, what's up, everybody? I'm Blaine. I'm here with my man Brooks. This is the 12th podcast, and today we're going to hit you with a few quick hits before we jump into our main topic. So, first thing that we've noticed is I don't know if you guys noticed, but the Premier League has officially launched their Hall of Fame, and the first two inductees were Thierry Henry and Alan Shearer, right? And I got to be honest, for me, I don't know about you, Brooks, but I can say I don't remember watching Alan Shearer play for Newcastle or any of the other clubs he played for. I know he has like the highest goal scoring record, but that Thierry Henry, that's who I would have chose to go in if I was running the thing. But I'm sure I'm not saying I wouldn't pick Alan Shearer because the most goals in the Premier League ever is an amazing feat. But just not
Right.
having seen him play, it doesn't really resonate with me. It's kind of like a Pele situation where they're like, oh yeah, he did this, he did that, and it's like then you see like some black and white clip. But I don't know. What do you think? What do you make of the inductees, the inaugural two, if you will?
Yeah, I mean, I think that obviously it had to be Thierry Henry. I think that that was like a no-brainer. I didn't even really like that was one of those things where I was like, I'm not really gonna even try to watch this live or pay much attention because I know that Thierry Henry, the man, is gonna be like the
The
legend.
legend.
The Invincible is gonna be, chosen. And I also, I mean, yeah, Alan Shearer kind of was a no-brainer also. It had to be a given. You had to give the first Hall of Famer to the person who has the most goals in the history of the EPL. So yeah, not a huge surprise. But you're right. Like he played a little bit before our time. I just know a lot about him mostly because Ian Wright talks about him a lot. They had like a couple hilarious YouTube videos that they've done together. They may have even been roommates at one time for England, like a short stint. But yeah, I think that that was a good. Like, I think that kind of most people were suspecting that, like you said.
Yeah, okay. That's my no, I didn't realize that he was roommates with Sir Ian Wright.
I could, I mean, yeah, I might totally be wrong, but they
Fact
definitely
check.
have some really hilarious YouTube videos where they like asking each other questions, quizzing each other. I want to say that they were. I mean, I could totally be wrong, but yeah, they're pretty close. I know more about Alan Shearer just through Ian Wright than anything else. So yeah.
Shout out to Arsenal then. Shout out to Arsenal.
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of Arsenal, I'm sure you heard about this, Brooks. Fans, you're a part of the fan base.
Oh
They
yeah.
want Stan out. What is that? Stan Crunky?
Yeah. I mean, and that's just kind of like a bit of what we talked about last week. Just like American ownership, specifically Stan Kroenke and Arsenal, like all of the stuff that he takes from Arsenal to give to the Rams or to give to like his other clubs. Like he doesn't really invest much of his own. Um, but yeah, there's been that Kroenke out for quite a while now with obviously the Super League malfunction. That's a huge miss on oversight, whatever on his end, and now it's just like, oh, it's all coming down.
I mean, bro, yeah, that's crazy. I didn't realize that he was the owner of the Rams, the LA Rams, and doesn't he own one other American franchise? Oh, I got it pulled up right here. Okay, this let me tell you about this. Tell me about this jerk of a
KSE?
man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. The Rams, Arsenal, Nuggets,
Oh, Nuggets.
Rapids, Avalanche, the LA Gladiators. I have no idea who they are, but there's like five other sports franchises on here that he owns that I've never heard of. So,
Yeah.
yeah, guy's a dog.
No, I mean really, I mean that's I think that there was a lot of kind of I don't know how most of the Arsenal fan base talking about the team, but I mean this guy obviously has money. He's one of the richest owners in sport. He's an individual owner now. He just owns basically outright. He
Yeah.
bought a lot of the remaining shares out a few years ago. But yeah, we were like, okay, cool. Like this dude has money. Where are you going to put it? And what he does is he leeches it from Arsenal and puts it into SoFi Stadium or whatever. That's an extra couple bill over budget. So yeah, it's not been a very good relationship so far.
No chance he sells it to the founder of Spotify.
So I mean, I mean, you kind of know how I feel about like businessmen getting into soccer ownership.
That's a
Um,
bad move then.
well, so
That's a bad move.
initially I thought so, but then you hear from everyone that he's actually been a supporter
He's a
for a really
fan.
long time. Yeah, I mean, you and I talked about it. We've probably been, not to be like, not to kind of gloat at all, but we've been to probably, we've been to a ton of games in Europe.
Yeah,
But this guy, I guess, grew up going to see Arsenal at Highbury, which is pretty
that's a
crazy.
throwback fan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's pretty. I mean, he's not super young, but I mean, to be able to remember going to Highbury and stuff, that's pretty awesome. So if that's the truth, I mean, he's been doing it for a long time. There's some pretty funny tweets out there, like, you know, making fun of how little he pays artists on Spotify. So they're like, no, no, no. If this is any relation as to what you're going to be paying Arsenal or doing for the club, please stay away. But the big
Yeah.
news with that is that he's been able to get some of the Invincibles to come on board. Um, Patrick Vieira, Thierry Henry, Dennis Bergkamp to kind of support his move for a purchase. Which, if that were the case, I mean, please, I'll be a Spotify member today. If they could take my $9 a month or whatever it is.
Take the 9.99. Got half of the golden era in the investment group.
Right.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll see how that shakes out.
Yeah.
But
So I mean, that was huge
yeah,
news. I don't know how, if it, it kind of just came out of nowhere. I mean, I don't know when all the stuff came down with the RSL owner being the major jerk that he is. Everyone came out and was like, "Oh, I'm in. I'm in. I want to buy the club." So I don't know how much of this is happening, but at least it's not like some random American football player that's like, "Oh, I want to own it." It's actually a fan. So that's pretty good news.
yeah. He'd do right by
I
the
think so.
fans and do right by the
Yeah, and he's
players
talking about giving the
because
fans some
yeah.
ownership too. Sorry, keep going.
No, that's it. I was just saying, yeah, and ultimately that's what the fans want. They want to feel heard. They want to be
Yep.
involved. They don't want to leech, taking hiking up the season ticket prices and dumping in the
Highest
SoFi.
in Europe.
You know,
Highest in Europe for what?
highest in Europe, make it into Europa.
If we're that
I'm
might not
sorry.
even happen this year.
Yeah, true story.
Anyway,
Okay, cool. Well, let's stay in London then. Let's stay in London. Let's go from the north to the south. You texted me earlier today. You were watching the Palace game against Leicester, and you noticed that there's been another star player formerly signed to Nike that has been spotted wearing a very poorly pair of blacked out boots.
it was a
What do
very bad blackout job.
what do you make of that? What do you make of the Wilfred Zaha
I think
situation?
he's cool. I think he's very awesome. Talk about he's another Arsenal fan too. Well, I mean, he has very cool on the field and off the field style. But he's been with Nike for a long, long time, and it's just like another example of a pretty high profile athlete potentially leaving Nike. At least wearing blackout boots. I don't know how long this is gonna last. I remember texting you a few weeks ago during the Palace warm up, and I swear, I mean, I haven't been able to find pictures of it, but I saw him in a pair of Nemesis just in warm up, but he came out on the field in
Ah,
Mercurials. So I don't know what's going to happen, but it's really weird to see everyone seemingly leaving Nike.
and mostly, I mean, it's interesting. He was wearing a pair of Nemesis. Very few people have went over to Adidas. The majority are going to the little
Yep.
brother, literally
Yep.
and figuratively, Puma.
Yeah.
So ironically, sponsor of the club. I
You
bet he
think
ends
so?
up in Puma. Crystal Palace's Puma. Well, Crystal Palace's Puma. Puma's giving deals out to
We could get Puma deals
literally
maybe.
everybody in the top five leagues. Yo, we could get a Puma deal. We could get a Puma deal if we wanted to. Puma,
Hear us out. Yeah.
send us
Dembele
a gift box.
also training with Barca. He's been in the Pumas last couple times. I
I
mean, it's getting pretty crazy to see
Yeah,
this.
yeah, man. I don't know. It's like I saw Uzman in them, and I can't. There's too many to count. But yeah, it's just like I was watching the Carabao Cup over the weekend. I'll be honest, I couldn't make out what boots Sterling was wearing, but I can tell you one thing:
Not
they weren't
Nikes.
Nikes. I can tell you that. I can tell you for a fact
And it's crazy
that they
because like
weren't
less than a
Nikes.
year ago, the rumor was, okay, he's going to be the first real Jordan sponsored boot wearer, you know?
Yeah, yeah, I remember seeing those
And now
articles.
not only
Yeah,
is it not Jordan, he's not even, yeah, it's true. It's
360.
New Balance is I think who
Nice.
he's going to be signing with, right? And they're kind of
Mm-hmm.
scooping up quite a few, mostly England internationals. Bukayo Saka, him,
Yeah.
Balogun, the kid that just signed for an extension with Arsenal. So they're picking up quite a few high profile players at New Balance, which is just even more crazy to me. New Balance is picking up people.
Yeah, dude. I mean, and I was thinking about it, man. I was thinking about it. Like, if I was like a pro, like obviously Nike would be my first chance, but like if somebody wants to pay me three times the money to wear some New Balance, heck, if someone offered me four times the money, I would wear some Under Armour. You know what I mean? Like, catch me out there looking like Trent
Memphis
Alexander
Depay,
Arnold.
right?
You know, Memphis Depay, dude,
Yeah,
making it look cool.
I,
You
I
know, I
like
don't
to
know.
think
I
that I
mean,
would, but also like I always tell myself, I'm like, man, if I was ever doing this, I would like buy my own Nike cleats to be out there like wearing the brand that I grew up playing, like
Lukaku.
now owning shares of, and like, yeah, I just that's what I think I would do. But yeah, I mean, I would obviously go with whatever money came through.
Yeah, it's different when they say we'll give you 20 million annually. All you got to do is lace these up
Yeah,
38 times a year for all the Premier League games.
yeah, because it seems like.
Done.
Go ahead.
Then like I was just gonna, and then like the paparazzi catches you leaving the stadium
That's
wearing
what I was gonna
whatever you
say.
want, but
Yeah, it seems like
for those
they're
38
free to
games,
wear whatever after the fact. Like 90 minutes, you got to have these on, but anytime after that, you can be in really whatever you want. From Jordans to Balenciagas, it just doesn't matter. As long as on the pitch they're wearing, they've signed. Which I think, I mean, you remember hearing about um, the beard, James Harden, when he signed with Adidas and he kept being caught wearing like the Jordans and stuff and fined. I guess that's a completely
yeah,
different contract, but yeah, very different from what we see over here.
yeah, yeah. Because I've never looked at a shoe like a shoe endorsement contract. But I would imagine like if you're signed to Adidas and you're James Harden, like
Right.
they got lifestyle shoes, they got every kind of shoe you need, or you can also wear your basketball shoe casually. Whereas
Yeah.
like if you're wearing a cleat or a boot, it's like it could. I guess it might not be different, but
Yeah, I mean,
it's
and
different.
going down the
Different
contract and
contracts.
boot line, I mean, the crazy thing is you have coaches now. Like Jurgen Klopp, Liverpool's got Nike all over the place, but then you see Jurgen on the sidelines with his Adidas contract, which is insane. I never thought I would have seen a coach with a contract. Mourinho, yep.
Yeah, Mourinho had the Adidas
Yeah.
deal until he got the boot. Now
Yeah.
coach is out here getting endorsements. Next, it's going to be the mascots. Gonna have the dinosaur running
As
out
long
in
as the
some
dinosaur is still
Jordans.
running out, I don't care what he's in. As long as we can keep the dinosaur, we'll be good. Yeah, as long as he's getting
As
paid.
long as he's getting paid, don't
Yeah, I
furlough the
mean, yeah, that's
dinosaur.
that's the other thing. Of all the redundancies Arsenal have made. Anyway, we've moved on past that. I'm trying to do the same personally. So, but anyway, yeah, it's always really weird to see that, especially when there's some high profile
All
athletes
right.
out there that are leaving. Specifically Sterling, when he's an international with a Nike signed country, also, it's just crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, I'll just say this. For me, like the most surprising ones were like obviously Sterling, Neymar. Like I had been reading about the Neymar
Right.
situation for a few months. I was like, there's no way. Like Brazil is Nike. Like Brazil is like the top three premier clubs that Nike sponsors. PSG is like if there's another premier soccer club, it would be
Right.
Barcelona. But it's like either PSG or Barcelona for Nike. Then it's like
Yep.
Ronaldo,
Yeah.
Mbappe, Sterling, Neymar. He's had countless signature one-off
Yeah.
situations, and then just I mean, I guess they changed their mind. They're like, we want to invest in like 5 kids that are under 22 years old, and Lewandowski got the boot. Dude, everyone got the
Yeah,
boot. Basically, anyone could get the boot,
right.
unless you wanted to sign for
Well, and
like
that's the thing too. You bring up a
500K.
really good point because
Go to Puma.
Nike's main European headquarters now are about to open in Paris, or they already have, or they're about to open in Paris. That's where their main European headquarters are going to be. Like they've been making PSG's kits for years and years and years. Obviously, Neymar is a big name in Paris, so I mean, I've heard other things like I think we talked about, his the rape allegation case, and Nike was like, we don't want any of this. And I do think Nike's doing a job at taking the direction of, I don't know how you'd say this, but like, I mean, I guess for lack of a better way to say it, like the people who are a little, kind of more politically active, and who are trying to make a difference and make a change, do good in the world, and not saying that Neymar didn't, but that whole case probably didn't fit the brand well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair. Yeah, like Marcus Rashford. Like, I mean, the only contradiction there would be I feel like Sterling's also like a huge advocate for like
Yeah. Definitely. And
political,
the other thing too,
social,
like just,
like
I mean, we don't
those
have to
types
stay
of
on this too
deals.
long. We
But
wrap it up. But the other thing that I was just thinking of, and I forgot to tell you, was I wonder how much of an issue Nike had, if any, with, how Sterling's been doing those Clarks, um, you know, because he was like their
yeah, I've seen them in
Nike
those.
FC
I've
couple.
seen
He
those
was in
ads.
all of the like the gear outside of the field too, like the sportswear stuff. So I don't know if maybe that may have rubbed him the wrong way. Maybe he was like,
Hmm.
look, I don't want to be tied to just Nike. I want to kind of explore these creative opportunities outside of his footwear company. So maybe it was a parting of both ways or whatever, but that may be another reason because I know that when Ronaldo came out with his own line for about an hour and a half, and Nike quickly was like, "Hey, you can do this, but you will be doing this alone, and we will not be making your cleats anymore." So he was like, "Ah, never mind. Pull back on that a bit." Yeah.
Yep,
You're
cut it, cut it. Back to the dry fit. No more CR7 boxers.
right.
No more CR7 denim. Man was trying to run the world. Okay. All right then. Last thing then, I guess last quick hit. I mean, this won't be news to anybody, but it seems that the European Super League is failing miserably. It's been a week and a day since they announced their vision.
I
And
mean, I
how
guess
would you
it kind
say
of
this
felt like
whole
a
thing is
dream at
shaking out to
first,
you,
and now
Brooks?
it feels like waking up from it. That's kind of how I'd sum it up. It just didn't feel real, and now it's really not.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I like in our previous episode we discussed this at length, and I was a little bit on one side of the spectrum, and now I'm completely on the other side where I'm like, I dissent. Super League
Right.
is a horrible idea. Not to say that the Champions League's new format is the answer, but the European Super League 100% is not the correct way to go. And I mean, I'm happy that the club that I support was amongst the first of those to pull out and hear their fans and understand what it means to like grow in the game and giving opportunity not to only a select few. But it blows my mind that there's still clubs like after a week.
Yeah,
That was
it's
a
crazy.
tremendous week. There's still clubs that are holding on to the idea of a super
Yeah, I don't
league
get it.
and
Yeah,
trying
I
to
mean, I
push
totally don't get it.
forward.
I'm with you though. I'm glad that at least it was
It's
the English
like,
teams to pull out, first. If we can get Kroenke out of this, that would be amazing. But again, just
yeah,
one quick sentence of admiration to the professor Arsene Wenger. He called this happening about 10 years ago. So saying that the money wasn't going to suffice for these, club owners, and they tried to do it. They tried it. They played themselves though. So the fans won.
they tried, played, shot the foot right off. All right. Well, speaking of greed and financial ambitions, that moves us right on to like our main topic of the day. And we're going to just have a quick chat about Football Club Barcelona, the state that they're in, the financial ruin, kind of how it happened, where do they go from here, and of course, the man, the myth, the legend, Lionel Messi, his contract being leaked, what's in his future, so on and so forth. So, I mean, I guess the easiest place to start is, I mean, I don't know about you, but I feel like it was maybe about a month ago. Well, like, let's go back to last
Yeah.
summer, right? Last summer, he sent in the Burofax. He said, I want out. He said, I want to go. President told him he couldn't go. Talked
Yeah.
about going to court. He said, you know what? Fine, I'm going to stay. You could see it in his face. The man's spirit was broken. About 8 months later, no, it was probably less because it was a short season. So, about maybe 6 months later, the president at that time of Barcelona, like the fans wanted him out. It was clear Messi hated him. I don't remember the exact uh, like sequence of events, but somehow he ended up leaving the club, and there was some sort of like a legal
He got raided. Yeah,
situation,
I
was
mean,
there
he's
not?
been doing all sorts
Like
of
he
kind of
got, did
shady
he get
business in the
arrested? Did he get
background, so
raided?
making deals with the devil type of thing. So yeah, it was a very kind of ceremonious departure. This student, everyone wanted him out, and I'm happy that it happened. But yeah, the way that it happened was kind of he had it come, I guess you could say.
Okay. So
Yeah,
okay,
broke
he's
promises.
a bad person. He lied to everybody's favorite football player, and broke promises. And in my opinion, I think so while all this is happening, like it was no secret to anybody,
Yeah.
Barcelona throughout the last 3 seasons had fallen into a pattern of making terrible financial decisions. I mean, so it all started when they sold my favorite football player to Paris, tried to replace him with, was it Philippe Coutinho and Ousmane Dembele? One got
And
injured,
still won a
one
Champions
forgot
League.
how to play. Could go either way. Could really go either. It could really go either way. But
Yeah.
it somehow still won a Champions League in the process of assisting and scoring goals to send his parent club out of the competition in embarrassing fashion. Talk about humiliation. So they're doing all of this stuff, right? They're buying players that are way over value or way overestimated in value, and those players aren't performing.
Older.
They're doing weird swap deals for players of similar positions, buying older, you
Yeah.
know, arguably less output than Mello when we're talking about Miriam Pjanic. Um, they're not attracting players the same way that they do. I mean, they were able to get Frankie De Jong. They wanted De Ligt. They couldn't get him. I feel like there was a few other players that like they were supposed to get, but they couldn't get them just because like it was a shaky situation. But the point I'm trying to get to is like they made all these bad financial decisions, and so like they're like millions of hundreds of millions of dollars in debt, and then all of a sudden, newspaper comes out. Here's Messi's contract, right?
That's a lot of money.
We're paying this guy how much? $1 billion $1 billion a season? Is that what it was? A hundred million? I don't know what it was, but it's like they have this contract, right? And they're paying him all this money. But at the same, so they're
Yeah.
saying like we're in financial. They're trying to make it look like we're in
Right.
financial ruin because we're giving Messi so much money. But the previous summer, Messi's like, I want to leave before my contract is over.
Right.
From my understanding, he wasn't saying like you need to pay me for this last year. Just let me out and I'll go somewhere else. Word on the street
Yeah.
was clubs were willing to pay as much as
Yeah.
from anywhere from 100 to 200 million
Right. I mean, you know that.
euros to get
Yeah. I
him
mean, you know
early,
that City and
and they still
PSG have
said
both
no.
publicly been like, yeah, we
Explain
want
that
to
to
get him,
me.
we'll buy him. Like that's the money is not a problem to us. Like we just don't want to get stuck in like a weird situation where it's potentially a lawsuit. which obviously was smart on their end. But they have the money to do it. All the multiple clubs have the money to do it. The big thing is, I mean, yeah, it's a huge number of debt that they're in. It's a quite a bit of a. I mean, it's more like a floating debt. It's not like they are debt, more than €1 billion. Uh, and that's that. It's kind of things long term, like the contracts that are, they've since sold on, but they still owe part of it. So it's kind of a it's kind of a strange debt that they're in, but nonetheless, they're in quite a bit of debt. The big thing though is that people think um, uh, that it's because of how much they pay Messi. But actually, there was a really good interview or YouTube video. I think Athletic Interest put it out, and you know that Barca is now sponsored by Rakuten on the front of their shirts, um, which is crazy because they've only had a front shirt sponsor for like 10 or so
Yeah.
years. They used to never
Hmm.
do that, but that's a whole different podcast. But anyway, they had signed a contract for like 4 years. I think it ended 2020, 2021. But obviously, when Messi came out, they were like, hold on, wait. We're only going to extend 1 year. And the deal, prior to that was like 50, 55 million a year. But this single year extension went down to like 30 because they were like, we're not trying to like give you all this money if you have no Messi. Same thing with Becco. Yeah, so I mean, same thing with Deco on the side of the sea, like the same thing. They're like, look, we're not trying to stay long
Yeah.
term if there's
This
no
is the Messi
Messi. So
clause.
I think that kind of gets overlooked quite often how much money Messi brings in. It's like, they wouldn't have as much money as they do if it weren't for Messi. Like, I mean, I'm Argentinian. He's the reason that I've been to Barcelona to see them. He's the reason that I've bought multiple Messi jerseys. He's the reason that I've bought seats at Camp Nou. He's the reason that I've even been to Barcelona. So, or even that and now it's a little bit of Mbappe and Messi, but he's the reason that I pay for Fubo TV to get, to see the games every weekend. So I think that gets overlooked a lot, and that was kind of the point in this video. It was like, hey, like Barca is in debt, but
Yeah.
when you break it down to the number of shirts that he sells, to the number of seats the people that he puts in seats, to the number of even like Instagram followers or YouTubers or whatever, like the Barca channel gets, like that is far and wide not the reason that they're in debt. The reason that they're in debt is kind of what you said earlier. They just don't know how to handle business. They don't know how to invest properly. The academy has kind of gone downhill. I can't really name any great La Masia graduates up until maybe this year or two. They've got a couple. Ansu Fati has done really well. But yeah, I mean, they just kind of can't run it anymore. It almost seems like for like the American sports fans out there, it's almost like Kobe's last few years at the Lakers, where they gave him like 24 mil a year for this aging. The difference is Kobe was clearly aging, whereas now Messi can still perform and he's still the top of his game, one of the best in the world. But yeah, they really can't bring in they don't have the pull like they used to, um, a few years ago. But yeah, they're definitely in some trouble, especially if Messi leaves. That's just going to be worse. Worse.
Yeah, okay. I agree with everything you said, and I see it the same way. Like if a guy's bringing in hypothetically, let's just say 100 million, and you wouldn't get that 100 million if he didn't play at the club, to give him 40 and keep 60, that's fair. You can't say I'm in
Yeah.
trouble because I gave him 40 because you wouldn't have 60 without him. And
Right.
because if you blew that 60 crazy, that's on you. You can't blame the man.
And that's what they're doing.
Yeah, and that's I don't like that. Like I don't like that at all. Player like you like the player is never rarely is the player ever in a position of power. Like the
Mm.
player's being paid by the person in the position of power. Like you're never like the contract is never going to like the player is never going to screw the company, you know what I mean? Or like the club. Like the club will always have the upper hand. They can terminate a
Yeah.
contract if they don't like it.
Right. Yeah, they can. Yeah, and I think that's kind of the point here is like Messi has so much power that even all the like the sports journalists and all the lawyers out there were like he could take this club to court and win because when he wanted out he had to state it before the end of the season. But Barcelona was like, well, you missed the season deadline. The season technically ended like what, May or June. But because of COVID, it had actually been prolonged a couple weeks. And
Yeah.
so he was like, no, I didn't. We're still playing games. Like we got a couple games left. I want out. So yeah, he could have taken them to court and won and been able to leave. But the point is, he loved the club so much that he didn't want to do that to the club that he had so much love for. So it's just, you said it, like the club does have the upper hand, and it's just sad that that type of love isn't reciprocated. He brought them multiple, not just Champions League titles, but titles in everywhere you think of them. And they didn't. I don't know. They just kind of haven't played it well. So I'm interested to see what happens this next couple months. It's going to be very, very interesting.
Let's speculate. Well, let's
All
speculate
right.
two things. All right. So first question for our Blaugrana fan: who's gonna win La Liga? We got a handful of games left. Barca's in the driver's seat. Their destiny is in their own hands. But who's
Yeah.
gonna win?
Um, I mean, it's kind of nice because Barca's not in Champions League anymore. Madrid is. Real Madrid is. I don't know. I mean, I want to say Barcelona is. I think that that would be really something that Messi needs and the club needs, is them to win it. So I hope that it's them. Um, Madrid's been looking good up until they're just so hot and cold. What did they draw again over the weekend?
They drew.
So
Yeah, they drew.
they just kind of can't put it all together. They've been looking pretty good in Champions, but then when they come over here, like they're drawn over the weekend. So I think that the Barca looks really good. Griezmann is starting to kind of pull through, come together, score a couple goals, had some yesterday. So I want to say Barcelona. That's who I want to win, obviously.
If I'm being honest, man, I'm with you. I mean, if I'm being completely honest to everybody, because of what they did over the summer, I was kind of like in the shadows rooting against Barcelona as like
Yeah,
I want him to lose, I want him to be down. But if this is truly Messi's last season, like they already got Copa del Rey,
yeah,
I want him to win the league. I want him to do it, man. I want it for Messi. I want it for Griezmann. I want it for my boy Dembele,
yeah,
the American Dest. I like Mingueza, and I
yeah,
like a lot of those guys. Ter Stegen. Like like the club has been poor, but these guys are good guys, and they've been through a lot
yeah.
in the last. They've been through a lot. So like, if this is the last, like if this is the swan song, like raise the trophy one more time and let's see what summer 2021
Do you
brings. What
think
do you
he's
think?
leaving?
What do you?
Yeah, what do you think? Do you think he's staying or going?
So this was my theory. This was my theory, and so my theory was this: um, if they do well, and the fact that they got Laporta back, running things at the top of the top of the top, I thought this is the play. Okay, Messi, you're still performing at a really high level. You got some morale back. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go out. Your homeboy is out of contract on the other side of Manchester. You guys shack up together, your roommates and all the major international. Bring Kun Aguero in. Okay. Bring in Kun Aguero. Now his morale's a little bit higher. Maybe bring Xavi back as like an assistant coach to Ronald Koeman. Now he stays. If one of those two things doesn't happen,
Yeah.
I mean, I would urge and I would hope that he would leave. I kind of would like to see him play in the Premier League if I'm being honest. But
Yeah, I mean, I would too. That's something that I really like to see, especially because every hater out there is like, oh, you can't perform in the Premier League. Well, how many Premier League teams does he have to beat, and how many goals does he have to score in Premier League teams for y'all to be a believer? But yeah, the Kun Aguero thing is huge. I think that I mean, that is the rumor he's going to come into Barcelona. Um, I just don't know. I mean, because I also don't think that'll be enough for Barcelona to truly compete. I mean, I think that with Neymar stalling on his PSG extension, that makes me think that obviously he only ever talks about Barcelona anyway. So if he does go to Barcelona, I think that'll be the big thing to make Messi stay if they could get potentially Kun and Neymar. I think that that would be a huge reason for Messi to stay, and I think that that might kind of top things off. I think that that would be a huge win for Barcelona if they could get Neymar because they're going to be able to bring or keep Messi there. But I also, if Neymar stays and if Kun comes, I think Messi still leaves. You got
You could see
Pochettino
that.
at PSG, you got Di Maria at PSG, you got Paredes at PSG, you have got Icardi at PSG, you got a ton of Argentines at PSG.
I'll be Celeste
There's
flag flying high.
flying high. We got a lot of history there. So I think that I don't know. I think that I would like to see him there just because there's always been a ton of South Americans at PSG. That's the reason I follow PSG. But I mean, you have Man City and Pep that have all the money and the most potential, I think, to continue to dominate. So if he wants a couple more years, I don't think he stays at Barca if really what he wants is just to win a couple more. I think that he leaves.
Okay. Say you're in Messi's there, you're his advisor. What would you urge him to do?
It's hard because I know that he like is a very, very big family man. Like, you remember when he told his family that they were leaving, his kids were crying, his wife was crying, like they didn't want
They
to leave the
broke down.
school. Like that's home, and that's hard and that's what he listens to. And that's I love that. I think that that's beautiful. So I think that I don't know, like I, it's hard. It's hard because I think that that's super admirable that he wants to do right by his family. Um,
Yeah.
so it's hard. I don't know. I would that would be the first thing I'd ask is like, hey, what's the most important thing to you right now? Is it, keeping your kids in the same school or with their friends, with who they've grown up with? Um, or are you trying to focus on winning a couple more goals? I think that that's kind of where you got to start off, especially with him, because Barcelona got his best friend. Like, that was a big,
Sent him.
yeah,
That's a big FU
big
for
FU.
no
They were like,
reason.
no
For
reason.
to replace it with Martin Braithwaite. Like for no good reason. For no good reason.
But Nike's holding on strong to that guy still. He always has the latest vapors on and everything. I don't understand what. Anyway, that's
Braithwaite got the deal done. He said, "I'll do it for 20K." He said, "I'll do it for 20K." Yo, where's the pin? I'm
he
signing.
said, just send me these
That's
for free
crazy.
every week and I'll stay.
Yeah, dude. Well, actually, yeah. Well, I mean, we won't get into that, but I think there's like a certain tiering of like the boot contracts, and he's definitely in that contract where like we send you a care package every 60
But he's always
days.
got the latest ones too. I'm like, dude, are you buying these? Are you just clicking buy now real quick overnight, or are they actually
Yeah,
sending these to
yeah,
you?
yeah. It could, yeah, we should look into that because I mean he's playing the striker for Barcelona at least for the beginning of the season he
Yeah.
was. I mean he was scuffing a few goals in, but I mean who is this guy? Who is this guy out here just hold on I hate to hate on
I know,
Martin
I know, I
Braithwaite,
know, I
but did you
know.
see but hold on, did you see his unveil when they unveiled him at the camp? And he like how they bring all the fans out and they're like, yo, we just signed whoever, and like they come out and they usually like they're juggling the ball and doing slick moves. He couldn't even keep the ball up past like three knocks. He just rolled it away. The little mascot picked it up and ran off, and I was like, oh man,
Wasn't Serginho Dest
you're
kind of
lucky
like that
you
too?
picked.
That he like couldn't get the keep ups going.
Probably, dude, probably.
It's
That's not
just
a
not
good
a
look
good
for the red,
look.
white, and
It's
blue.
really not. It's really not. And I don't know if this is true or if it was just one of these, the internet being hilarious again, but I love the rumor was that when Messi is like, I'm out of here, birthday, it's like, yo, can I get that number 10 though when he leaves? 'Cause I don't know if that's true or if that was just like some trolling on the internet,
Oh,
but uh,
that sounds like a troll, man. Yo, can I get the number? Can I get the 10? They're like, no, you're not
no.
wearing this. We're saving this for someone who deserves it. Braithwaite came in there. He's like, I'm the man, man. That's the thing. Oh, that's another thing we should talk about one day. We should talk about this one day. Like your players like your Martin Braithwaite's right. Uh, who's the guy that?
Choupo-Moting.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say
Dude reminds me of
PSG.
Choupo-Moting.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Like that vein of players. It's like what's going on upstairs with those players? Like what? Do like they have to know what's going on, but do you think they know? I don't know.
Well, it's funny because I used to put Jesse Lingard in that same category. But then he goes to West Ham and scores like 9 and 7.
Boy, bossed up.
Don't do
Jay
it.
Ling's bossed up.
And then he puts out that Instagram video where he says haters gonna say it's fake. Yeah, we're all gonna say it's fake because it is fake. Because you can't do that. When he had like remember the toilet paper lockdown skit
Mm-hmm.
everybody was doing? I'm like, dude, come on, you can't even get on the field right now. But you're trying to go
Mm-hmm.
do the most on this toilet paper IG. Anyway, yeah, but he's definitely impressing me. I had him in the same boat as the Choupo-Moting, but he's been amazing right now.
Yeah,
Very
it's
impressed.
yeah, it's just well, if that's the thing, it's like in the head, it's like okay, like Jesse Lingard. I mean, in his head, he's like, I'm the man. Couldn't. I think he went the whole 2019-20 season with one goal, and he
Yeah.
probably had at least 35 appearances. That's being generous. Don't check the stats. But like these guys, like, do they think they're the man, or like is it a big club that? Because like I'm like Choupo-Moting, like you get goals every now and then, and you're playing on Bayern Munich, you're playing on PSG. I think he came from
Dude.
like Southampton or something, but
Yes, like
like
Stoke, one of those were like basically relegated, and now he's at PSG, and then
it
Bayern.
it blows my mind. It's like like my only question is like, do you think they bought you because they think you're the man, or like do you know that you are like the second option if they don't really believe in you? And it's like they want someone that like has top level experience, but it's like no club like you couldn't have like let's just say like Erling Holland and Robert Lewandowski. You couldn't have both of those players because they both would want to start. But like I also get the feeling that like Choupo-Moting wants to start. I get the
Yeah.
feeling that like Martin Braithwaite, like he's like, I want to start. Like he feels like I'm in contention for the number one spot. But I don't know. I'm not trying to talk bad about these guys. All these guys are better than us. You know. They're getting paid, but it's funny to me just some of these guys that are like like the fact that if he really did ask for the number 10 or like I don't know like you see I don't know let me stop. Let's edit this out of the podcast. I'm about to get flamed.
I can't wait for all the hating comments to come in. That's
Oh, bro, we're about to get flamed.
I will say Moti did somehow score for Bayern. What, he scored 2 goals against PSG, right?
Yeah, he did his thing. I mean,
He
that's
had
the
his eyes
thing. Like he
closed on
comes
that
in,
header, but yeah.
but he that's the thing. Like that's the thing. Like it's like the zero to hero story. It's like you don't know this, but you're only on Bayern because like they just need a backup guy. Louis Lewandowski pulls his hamstring. You come on and you bag a brace. You got your chest pumped out, and you're like, yeah, man, like I'm the best thing since sliced bread. And it's like, no, 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 no. Like
Yeah.
you couldn't. I don't know. It's like you put him on a like if when he's on Stoke, like he's getting 4 goals a season. But it's like obviously like if Joshua Kimmich and Serge Gnabry are putting balls in the box for you, like you're
Right.
eventually going to tap one in.
Just be in the right place at the
Like
right
I
time.
like you. Yeah, Chicharito. Like put me on Man City, dude. I would at least get 11 goals if I was playing striker at Man City this season. I'd at least get 11
As
goals,
long as De Bruyne is
dude. And
not
I'm
injured,
nowhere.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if KDB's giving me that service on a silver platter, man, I'm getting at least 11 goals. And then what am I going to walk around and say? I'm like, an elite striker? No, you're like a low risk option
Yeah.
that like a head on a shoulder that could you
Right.
got it. I don't know. Let me stop talking
Whose
bad. Let me stop talking
prior
bad about
club
these
is
boys.
probably paying a portion of your fees just to get you off their books a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Like here, take them, take them, take them. All right then. Well, Brooks,
Is
this was a good conversation. I think
that the Messi contra? Is that the Messi
we
convo then? We got it.
yeah, that was that. I think that's it. I think that's it. We talked about kind of the origins of where it all started, and you know how it happened, and what we think, what we want. you advised, you told us that what you advised for him to do moving forward, and I guess at this point, ultimately, it's the end of April, May. I'm
Yeah.
sure no less than 2 months we'll know
What do you
what's
think is going to happen?
next.
Is he staying or is he going?
Okay, so what do I think? Like, if I'm putting money, like if I'm going to the bookie and I'm making a bet, if I'm putting my money on it, I think he stays.
Really?
That's just, I think he stays if I'm putting money on it. Like, the smart money says he stays because, I mean, like you said, family was crying when he said we're gonna move. He stayed another year. Now all of a sudden, if they
Yeah.
win the league, if they get the double and they get a few more guys in there, like I'm sure they could sell him on a project to lock him down for another five
Yeah.
season. They'll lock him in
Right.
another 5 seasons, keep him until he's 40, and that will be it. He'll be a one man club. What I want, what do I want for him? Honestly, this is selfish. I would want like selfishly, I would want him to go to
Yeah.
PSG because I want PSG to. I think it'd be cool if he played with Mbappe and Neymar and Di Maria and Icardi and even dude, all those like you said, all those South American, the Brazilians, the Argentines. Like I think it'd be dope if they had like a super situation there with like a couple
Yeah.
French guys in there and won the Champions League and went on a real tear and like put some
Yeah.
respect on Ligue 1. That's me being selfish. For Messi's best interest, like for him to be like respected by all the like trolls that say, "Oh, he's a one man club and he only did it in La Liga." Go to
Yeah.
Manchester City. Go to Manchester City and win a quadruple.
First season there.
Go
Yeah.
win it all. Yeah, first season there, dude. Maybe even pick up like the Community Shield and get like a quintuple. The first to do it, dude.
Yeah, that
First
would
to
be
do
I
it.
mean, as a fan, it would be amazing to see that, but I also, I mean, I really just can't explain how much I value loyalty. So I would really, as like a person, love to see him stay in Barcelona, and be a one-man club his whole career. I don't even want to see him like go to, you know, China or wherever everyone else. I mean,
River
I
Plate.
would like
Oh,
that. I would like to not River. I would like to see him at Boca, but he would never.
okay.
He would go to
Because
Newell's. He wouldn't go to
okay,
either of those. But I would like to see him stay with Barca his whole career, and then yeah, maybe as a 42-year-old, finish it up with his son at Newell's or whatever. But I mean, yeah, the loyalty to me is a big part of it. Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of again like what do you want to do, Messi? Like, do you want to be, the loyal member of Barcelona who never left? Do you want to kind of just go to try to be, I mean, I don't know. I wonder how much of it Ronaldo plays in his head. Like Ronaldo's won it in England, he's won it in Spain. He's now won an Italian title. Might not even make it a Champions League this year, but I wonder if he has any desire to do that. But I don't know. I think that at the end of the day, you can always pin back these players to one club. Thierry Henry is always going to be an Arsenal guy. Messi is always going to be an Arsenal guy. I even think
100.
maybe Ronaldo's really still going to be a Manchester guy. I mean, it's weird. You think of Pirlo, he's probably a Juventus guy, even though I think he spent most of his career in Milan. But you can always put one,
But
yeah,
yeah,
but
I
you're
remember from
always going to
Juve.
pin him to one, to one club. Thinking Ian Wright, he played for Crystal Palace and Arsenal. Well, more than that, but I think he's also going to be always just going to be an Arsenal guy. And so I wonder if that has anything to do with it. For me, if I played, I probably would. I'd be like, I'd want to be as low as possible, but you definitely do want to get out there and win as much as you can because it's such a short career. So we'll see what he does. I won't be mad at whatever decision he makes because more than anyone else that's ever played the game, I think he's deserved to literally say, "Yeah, I want to go here, and I want to do that." Like, they say that
Yeah,
um, James in the 2014 World Cup, they were like, "Oh, he, with the way he showed his skills in 2014,
yeah,
he earned a transfer to whatever club he wanted to go to." The dude went to play for Madrid. I mean, he went to Madrid. I don't know how much he played, but so Messi can't. You can't say the same for Messi. I mean, like,
yeah,
come on. You got to let this guy go wherever he wants to go at this point.
yeah. yeah. I can. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. I agree with you. And if he decides to stay, good for him. If he decides
Yeah.
he wants to go play with Manchester, he wants to go play with
Oh,
the
I
Parisians.
would love that.
No one can say any like it. And the I would love it too, man. But and the same thing though. But like for all the people who are like, yeah, like he only did one club. Just back to what you said, dude. I mean,
Everywhere.
he's beaten clubs from everywhere on the continent. You know, he's like, I mean, that's all I'll say. Like for someone to say like, oh yeah, like you're not the best because you haven't won the Premier League or you haven't won like a Scudetto or
Yeah, no,
whatever,
that's
like
cool.
that has nothing to do. Yeah, so that's it. I mean, like you countless times you've seen players like to say that like it's like Philip Coutinho, like he played. Now I'm going off
Amazing.
memory. He played great for Liverpool. He had so if the Premier League's the better league, he
At
couldn't perform
all.
at all in a Barcelona shirt.
It was sad. It was
He couldn't
really
do it.
sad.
He couldn't do it. Like it's not. It was heartbreaking. It broke my heart to see him. Man, the guy. I mean, he went to Bayern Munich and had
Hmm.
he was a bit
No.
part player, but like he's never been this
No, he
good.
looked good in that Champions League
It's
run, but he was not the
it's
same.
like
You're totally
I
right.
don't I
Watching
won't
him play
compare.
for Liverpool was, I mean,
Yeah,
it looked like Messi on the opposite side of the field. It just kind of like the way he would cut in, the way it just, I don't know. He was so, so good for Liverpool. But yeah, it was sad to see him not perform at Barcelona.
well, I guess we're in agreement. Then wherever Leo goes, you know, no
Gotta
love
buy that
lost one
jersey.
way or another. The respect is there, but I will be. Yeah, facts. All right then. Well, I guess that probably wraps us up then for today's episode of the 12th.
See you
Thanks for
next week.
listening, and we'll see you next week.